Hey, everybody. How's everyone doing? It's cool to see you all. I'm going live on this Sunday. Hopefully, we can enjoy some laughs together. Everybody can have a good time. I've got a few computer screens going, trying to get it all going up, and then I've got Facebook actually brought up on a separate device, so that way I can see when you send stars. Because before I couldn't see it, I couldn't thank you, I couldn't give you a shout out like I used to, and I felt like I was just giving you nothing. See, Melinda just sent stars, 150 stars. Thank you, Melinda. See how that works? I couldn't see them on the other program. Also, if you're on YouTube, you can still do the super chat thingy, and I'll get to your comment, your question, whatever you need. Thank you, Amy, for the stars. I need a better intro. I do need a. I don't know. I think it's pretty good. I like the kazoo. I went with the kazoo. I think the kazoo's kazooing. I don't know. Thanks, Maria. Thanks, Chris, for the stars. Hello from Canada. Hello, Tammy. Hopefully everybody's enjoying their spring break, unless you are like, Mariah from Canada. I think that most of them went away with their spring break, but that's fine. What are you going to do? I mean, go sit on the melted ice? How does that work? I don't know how that. You guys just come down here anyways. I'm in Florida, so I'd like to thank all of you for coming down to Florida, for the entire world coming down to Florida. Traffic here's a nightmare. Thank you, Tammy, for the stars. Tamara, Stephen, Cheryl, appreciate you. So yeah, it's spring break time. Hopefully you're enjoying it. I'd love to talk to you guys. If you got questions, throw them out there. I've got a whole bunch of stuff. Okay. Interesting question was put over on YouTube, and I'm going to get to some spring break stuff in just a second. What's my relationship with the people on Board Teachers? I don't actually work for Board Teachers. I've just Nathan was wondering. I've done some videos for them. Thanks, Lenore and Stephanie. Appreciate the stars. I've done some videos for them, kind of freelance work. I did a bunch of game shows with them that never got put out. Hopefully they'll put out more of that stuff, because we filmed a lot of stuff, and hopefully they'll do that. I've done some exclusive stuff. They've shared some things in the past. Everything I did a podcast for them that's not out yet. It'll be released soon. They have a new podcast that they just announced, and it's coming out. So, I work with them every once in a while. I don't own anything with them. They don't regularly pay me or anything like that. It's just, they think I'm funny, and I think they're a great outlet. So I go ahead and I engage with them, comment on them, and things like that. Thanks, Jessica, by the way. Appreciate the stars. You're in lockdown in Italy? Oh, that's not good, Shayna. I wouldn't like that. Hopefully you're enjoying some crying in my car. By the way, tomorrow night, I want to remind everybody before this all starts, tomorrow night, we have a live edition of Crying in My Car that'll be broadcast right here on my page. So if you like Crying in My Car, a podcast for teachers, we're going to broadcast it live for you tomorrow night about this time, and you can just tune in, check it out, and watch us record it live. So it'll be pretty cool. We'll have all the videos set up and the lighting, and we'll be able to interact with people as we record it live too, so you can get your comment heard on the podcast. Thank you, Kathleen, for the stars. Jennifer, for the stars. So yeah, spring break's a little different here in Florida. I went to Disney Springs today, and there was about 900,000 people there. Every person that's ever walked the earth. I saw some souls there. There was dead, undead, unborn. Everybody and their mom was there, and their grandma and their great grandmother. It was like an entire ancestry.com meetup for every single family in the entire world. Thank you all for coming to Florida and bringing all your sickness and everything with you. I don't know what people are thinking. They think the pandemic's over. It's insane. I was losing my mind today. I posted earlier today because I went to the grocery store, and there was a lovely individual that decided to park in the crosswalk section in front of the Publix, about 18 feet from the curb, in the middle. Nobody can get past. Nobody can get past. That's where I park. That's where you park. I thought there was a health concern. They got out of their car, and I was like, oh, there's something wrong here. No, just parking, just to go in. There you go. That's fun. That's Publix for you, if you ever been. Danielle, thank you for the star. Stacy, Scott, Shannon, thank you so much. It's crazy. Disney Springs was really nice, but man, it's just so packed. But I will say this: I was on an expedition. Those of you that liked my Disney video that I put out a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, you're getting a part 2. This one is my journey to Epcot and Disney Springs and a few other Disney locations. If you ever been to Disney World in Florida, you'll know a lot of the stuff that you'll see, and you're gonna love it. So yeah, I'm gonna be at the Improv in Tempe, Tammy. It's so funny. So many people say that. So they go, "Are you gonna be at the Improv?" Well, it depends on how my set goes. I'm gonna be at the Improv in Tempe, with Adam Ferreira this coming weekend. I'm flying out on Thursday. I'm a little. Oh, that's awesome, Cindy. Fully vaccinated. Thanks for the stars, by the way. Yeah, I'm a little. Stars are Facebook, by the way. YouTube people are a little confused, but it's the equivalent. If most YouTube people are the younger people, and they're like, I don't even know what Facebook is anymore. But us older people, we like to send stars. Teachers like to send stars. People on YouTube send super chats. I'm flying on Thursday. A little nervous. Flying Southwest. Got a 5-hour flight. That's a long time to be in an elongated capsule with a whole bunch of strangers in the air. And that flying to Phoenix, 4 hours, 55-minute flight time. Not fun. Leave at 7:25 in the morning. Also not fun. How come why does every single flight that I've ever booked in my life start at 4:00 in the morning? That's miserable. But I'm flying out there, and I'm staying at a really decent hotel, a Priceline, man. They got those lightning deals where you stay at the mystery hotel. Those are the best. I love the mystery hotels where you just are like, you know what? I'm going to take a gamble for $85 a night. Sometimes you wind up sleeping in a trunk of a car. Sometimes you wind up in a decent place. I got a good one this time. So then, it's interesting. Yeah, stars cost a little bit of money. I think it's like $1. I think your first time you get it's like 99 cents that they charge you. But yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Katie and Jade, for the stars. But yeah, I gotta fly out there, and then I gotta do 5 shows. It's very nerve-wracking. So as a comedian, the comedy clubs are spaced out. Most of these comedy clubs, and Improv in particular, does temperature checks coming in the door. That's a positive. But still, you're on stage, and there's people sitting there in front of you and just hanging out, and they are eating, and I'm talking, and man, it is cool to get laughter, but it's also like there's a whole bunch of people pushing out and expelling air in my general direction, and it is a little nerve-wracking. I'm not going to lie. Now, the good news is that I was able to get my first shot of the Pfizer, and I'll be on like day 12 when I perform, which according to online statistics, Pfizer is about 90% effective after the first shot after 12 days. So hopefully that's a positive. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm gonna wear 2 masks on the plane for sure. That's right, Mel. I don't know. It's nerve-wracking because this is my first time out of state to do shows since COVID started. I've pretty much kept home. I haven't flown. I don't know what flying's like. I know they're pretty strict, but who knows? I don't know. It's a little scary, but who knows? It's going to be fun to make people laugh. Everybody's going to be in the comedy club having a lot of fun. And I know a lot of teachers out there have gotten vaccinated. I see a lot of you that are getting the second shot, already had the second shot, and that's really cool. And hopefully you can come join us for a nice night out. Marie, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah. So 12 days out from first of Pfizer, I think I'll be protected. That's what I've heard, is that I'll be pretty good. So 90% effective is pretty solid in my book. And even if you get it after vaccination, it's pretty much that it'll be much less severe, and risk of death and hospitalization is very, very small. So that's a positive. Thanks. Anyways, but yeah, that's how it's been in my spring break, flying out to Tempe. And Bethany, appreciate the stars. Yeah, so I don't know. Flying's great now. So much space. Oh yeah. Now when you're 6'6", by the way, I'm 6'6". That's not, no. There's unless everybody, including the pilot, decide to exit the plane at the time that I'm on there. It's miserable. I always ask for the emergency row. Generally, I get it because people are like, yeah, you're huge, you're giant. We'll give it to you. But sometimes people book it ahead of time, especially on like Delta flights and stuff. So I can't get it. And then it's miserable. It's the worst. And I actually had to fly to Australia Folks, that was an 18 and a half hour flight. And I was in the very back row of the airplane. And the person in front of me decided that they wanted to put their seat back and sleep for 18 hours straight. Who does that? Who does that? And oh gosh, I spent most of the flight literally standing up in the bathroom. I think everybody thought I had the worst bowel problems in the entire world, but I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to stand in the bathroom. This is where I'm comfortable, and it was terrible. I don't know. I would ask. Yeah, I've asked for upgrades before, and yeah, Delta's blocking middle seats. I like that, but I don't know. I'm flying Southwest. I don't know what they've got going on. All I know is I get the 2 free bags checked. If it's too cramped, I might just check one bag in myself, throw myself in some luggage and hop into the bottom. That'd be fun. So I'm not a first class, by the way, yet. I've only flown first class once in my lifetime. And let me tell you right now, if you ever get bumped up to first class, after that, you hate everyone that ever flies first class. It becomes a point of anger, because at that point you're on a flight and you now know how comfortable it is in first class, and it makes your misery that much worse, because you're like, there are people on this plane that are enjoying themselves, and there's about 12 of them, and I'm not one of them, and I'm furious about this. But yeah, Florida to Arizona is 4 hours 55 minutes against the jet stream. On the way back, 3 hours 50 minutes. So. And the thing is, you know, being tall, you can't do it. And I talked to the lady. I even messaged Delta one time. I said, I'm 6'6". I said, you gotta have some sort of like height thing where if you're over 6'3", that you get preferential treatment for an exit row seat, because they have to know you're absolutely miserable. They have to. But they just are okay with that. They're like, oh, who cares? Or they realize that me sitting in an exit row with giant legs, everybody's going to die. There's no way they're getting out. My legs will not allow them to, unless we get some sort of, Carl Lewis hurdler that can jump right out the plane over my legs. Not happening. I've got giant legs that are going to block every exit. Oh man, I am the guy that puts the bags into overhead bins. I'm also the guy that pulls them out of the overhead bins for everybody. That's absolutely miserable. So I got a question. How can you show your teachers appreciation more? Money and gift cards. And I don't know. Depends on what state you're in. Maybe drugs. I don't know. I'm not going to make any decisions on that. But, I don't know. It's tough. It's a tough life for teachers. You just gotta go with it. So how's everybody else? Everybody enjoying their spring break, by the way? I'm wondering. So spring break's different down here in Florida. You guys know us because you used to watch us on MTV in 1996 and used to dream about coming to Daytona and just partying it up with the Bush and Stone Temple Pilots, right? Everybody dreams of that. I've been to Daytona Beach on spring break, and it is nothing like on the TV, just so you're aware. There's throw up everywhere. There's drunk people every 5 feet. It is, it's a town. It is a town. Miami's a little different. I've been to South Beach a few times. It's just a bunch of rich people parading around how rich they are. Gretchen, thank you so much for the stars. I appreciate it. I don't know. Where's the destination to go? So here's the thing. I'm going to be fully vaccinated here shortly. I do want to go somewhere. I went on Disney Plus. Oh, thank you, Zach. Appreciate the stars. I went on Disney Plus, and I went on Disney Plus, and Gordon Ramsay has a new show on Disney Plus. It's fantastic. But his first episode, he went to Peru, and it was beautiful. And I was like, man, Peru would be so awesome. And I looked online. Do you realize it's $300 to fly to Peru? It cost me $280 to fly to Tempe, Arizona. I'd much rather go to Peru. I don't know about you. I just want to know where people want to go, because in the world, I mean, I'd love to go back to Australia. That's a long flight, though. New Zealand, that's a bucket list. I just don't want to go to the typical places. Everybody, let's go to Paris. I don't want to go to Paris. I want to go to the really off the beaten path where I get on a plane and have a chicken in my lap, and I look outside and there's propellers going, and I have to wipe away the dust to see outside. I want that experience. I want the rugged Indiana Jones style. We're going to find the Knights Templar. That's what I want. I don't know. Yeah, thank you, Michael. Thank you, Maurice Haggart. I probably spelled that wrong. I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you also, Ben, for the super sticker. I appreciate that. And thanks so much over on YouTube. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I want to travel to. Ireland, good idea. Ireland, love. Okay. So somebody said you would love Albanian. I thought somebody was typing you would love Alabama. I was like, no, I don't think I would. I've been to Alabama. I don't think I would. I don't think I would like Alabama. Fiji would be nice. Yeah, Fiji, I've heard good things. Finland rocks. I think most of the kind of Nordic countries is where you would want to go. I'm a big outdoors scenery guy. Hold on. Peru is great. Lived there for a while, a few years back. Peruvians are short, so be prepared to bump your head on things all the time. Yeah, I'm 6'6", so that's trouble. I don't know. Did the airplanes get smaller? I wonder that too. Like if I'm flying Air Peru, is it going to be for Peruvian people, or is it going to be for Americans coming to Peru? I don't know. Things you wonder sometimes. I've also thought about Dubai, but I don't know. I do have to take into account personal considerations for things like, human rights violations before I go throw my money into a country. Who knows? But Greece would be beautiful. There's so many places that I wanted to go, and this is the thing is that, you guys are probably all like, oh, this guy's rolling in money. No, not rolling in money. Thank you, Danielle, for the stars. By the way, I'm not rolling in money at all. I don't know if you've actually looked at flights lately. I mean, like literally, it's like you can either fly to Mobile, Alabama, or you can fly to Fiji, Brazil, wherever you want to go. It's unbelievable the amount of money and once you're vaccinated, they'll let you in if you give a negative test. I mean, some of these countries got a lot less restrictions too, so that's cool. Florida down here, we don't have any restrictions. Just come to Florida. Once you get off the plane, they rip your mask off you and cough in your face. That's how we do it down here in Florida. It's great. Canada, I really would love to go to Canada. Here's my thing. I've been to Puerto Rico, and that was actually a discussion because I was thinking about going to San Juan before the cruises get there because I loved San Juan. Beautiful city. Before the cruises get there, I think it'd be nice. And it's like $80 to fly from Florida to Puerto Rico. But when I go to no, we know you're broke. Thanks, Jill. Appreciate it. Thanks, Jill. I advertised that out there. Anybody else want? I mean, are you looking at my bank account? You might be. My identity's been stolen 17 times in the past month. Thank you so much. Thank you for the stars, Diana. Yeah, if I go to Canada, that's the thing. I want to. Do I have an advice for? Hold on. Let me do Canada first. So. If I go to Canada, I want to go on a railroad across Canada. I want to go on the old railway trip, the murder mystery style, Trans-Siberian, even though it's not Siberia. I want to go on that because I've read so much about that one. There's like one coast to coast railroad that is old school through the mountains of Canada. That's what I want. So that's my Canada trip when I go. Thank you to buy some soda, Christy. I appreciate that. So over on YouTube, got a little super chat here. Says, you have any advice for a student struggling to stay motivated? Man, oh man. So I had a college professor. He did a weird thing for me. And I don't know why it motivated me, but it did. He gave me $100, I think it was, or 50. I don't remember, but he gave me some money and told me I had to spend it on other people. I had to do good things with it. Thank you for the stars, Jessica. I had to do good things with it. And I did. It was around Thanksgiving time. I bought some turkeys for some families in need, donated some food, purchased some grab bags, helped out. And it made me feel really good. And it made me feel like I had a purpose in the world. And I don't know. I don't know why he did it, but he literally told me, he's like, I noticed you're not as motivated as you were the past few years, because I had him a few years. It was my senior year. He's like, I saw this on Oprah. Oprah gave money to people and was like, here, go do other things for other people. See how it makes you feel. And for some reason, it made me feel really good. And well, I knew it would. I mean, not for some reason. Charity makes people feel good, but it made me like, I don't know. It inspired me to like do things. And I don't know how. I don't know why, but I felt purpose afterwards. And I felt a little bit, I think also seeing situations that other people were in and knowing my current situation made me more thankful for my life and more thankful for the things I was given, and maybe inspired me to not take things for granted, to actually like, be more proactive in my life. Maybe that was the case. I really don't know the psychology behind it, but it helped me. I finished out my senior year really strong. I got another super chat. Thank you for being super honest. Teaching is not flowers and candy. You make me and my department laugh very much. Thank you. I appreciate that, Daljit. And I can't thank you enough. I appreciate that. So yeah, I mean, I love making people laugh, and a lot of these people, the teachers, they needed the most. Man, we needed the most so bad. Yeah, I got kids too. I've never flown with them, but they're 6 and 4, turning 5 next week. Hoping that it'll be a lot of fun to fly with them, but I don't know. I've been kind of shoving like dollar bills into my little up jar. If you did a live with me a few months ago, I have an up jar that I have at the house. Been shoving little ones in there. It's our fun to fly and go somewhere. But who knows? Do I have any advice for a teacher struggling to feel motivated? Golly. Here's the thing. I tried to self-motivate all the time. I tried to look for motivation everywhere I could find it. And it's hard. Like, I don't know. I mean, if the students aren't motivating you, there's not much external forces that can push a teacher and motivate them other than the satisfaction that you get after a great lesson. My advice would be probably to hang around younger teachers if you see teachers that are brand new, because I did notice that when I hung around younger teachers, their enthusiasm would kind of rub off of me. And it's almost like, when, when you get older, the story of Santa, the true story of Santa. And then when you have kids and the magic of Santa comes back around and you remember what it's like, then it's like, oh, that's how it feels. That's what the positivity is. That's the happiness. That's the joy and the merry side of Christmas. And, there is something to say for that in teaching when it comes to finding joy and getting happy, is that sometimes you have to go to the younger crowd and see through their virgin eyes where they haven't dealt with the pay cut yet. They haven't dealt with the evaluations yet. They haven't dealt with the stress and pressure that you have, and maybe find a little bit of love there. That's the only thing I can probably say. But yeah, I know I'm cute thinking it'll be fun to fly with small children. I know. This is the thing, though. You forget, I fly into Orlando everywhere I go. I've flown with children. 9 times out of 10, more children than adults on these planes. Disney, Mickey ears galore. Every single flight, I fly with so many kids, and I've got patience. I mean, I've got patience for days, but yeah, I think it'll be fun. I do worry about my kids because their ears are a little sensitive. I had tubes and stuff, and it was hard when I was, growing up. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, on a plane full of children going to Disney World, you learn some stuff. There's no star in the comment bar. I'm sorry, Mary. I don't know how that works, but yeah, it is just temporary. Let's see what we got over on YouTube. I'm working with 2 screens. Sorry about this, folks. Planning on becoming a teacher down the road. Any tips for school? Don't over plan. Don't over plan. Don't be too afraid, of taking it easy on yourself. Over planning is the worst, because you've spent so much time that when the energy finally comes to deliver the lesson, you don't have it. But on the same note, I did find, everybody always says teach bell to bell. I don't find necessarily that you have to teach bell to bell, but have an activity or something, because if you have like 10 minutes in the end of class, that's when the worst stuff happens. Oh my gosh, it's miserable. It is that's when the restlessness and the crowd, the not the crowd, the kids get loud. And the cell phones have changed that a lot. Now they just go into their cell phones, but the last thing you want is admin walking through the door and every kid's on their cell phone. So I usually like to have an end activity that they can do, even if it's just a simple word search or something to keep them busy the last few minutes if you didn't quite make it to the end on your lesson plan. That's my idea. I started teaching fourth grade 2 months ago. It's the hardest job I ever had. Oh, well, I'm thankful that the videos are getting you through. It is hard, isn't it? I can't imagine. I taught elementary for a little bit, 1 year, and did a practicum in elementary for a little bit. That's such a different job than high school. I teach the same 45-minute lesson 6 times. Elementary, you are the beginning, the middle, and the end. You are the encompassing everything for that class. That's exhausting. And I mean, the only good thing is you have the same children, which is fantastic. You can build real strong relationships. But hats off to elementary school teachers. There's just so much planning that goes into that. Let's see. Vincent says 2 years of university to realize teaching isn't for me. That's fine. It happens. Yeah, Vincent, I don't blame you, buddy. And it's so much better to walk away from it. So, let me also say this too. Do we not? Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Christopher, for the stars. Vincent, you reminded me of something. So I posted on Bored Teachers a comment that was a joke, people. When I post comments, they're usually jokes, unless it's on LeBron James' post, because I love to hate the guy. On Bored Teachers, they had a post, and it was about the percentage of teachers, 27%, thinking about leaving at the end of the school year. My comment was, that's a very misleading number. Not the percentage, just the fact that think they're actually going to make it to the end of the school year. Oh, it lit up on comments. People going, oh, my contract, it's, this and that. They would never, you can't do that. And then some people were like, if you leave, then they get a crappy sub, the kids get a crappy sub, and then it's your fault. Don't you feel sometimes, and I hate to say this, but don't you feel, Lindsay Doris, thank you for the stars. Don't you feel like sometimes teaching is one of the few jobs that you're almost guilted to keep doing it? Like the contracts lock you in and the money locks you in. And it's not even good money. Like once you get out of it, you go, I can make this waiting tables. But there's so much guilt that you're leaving the kids behind. You should feel guilty. You should feel guilty. And I think that's, there's some truth to that, but also you got to live your life. I mean, you have to live it's your life. It's you are the creator of your entire destiny. And the last thing that I think anybody should do is be sitting on their deathbed, regretting the years and years of service they put into something that never loved them back. I don't know. Michael, thank you for the stars. I appreciate it. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a different type of person when it comes to that stuff. I love the kids. I feel for the kids. I want to be there for the kids. Beginning of my career was because I like children and hanging around and teaching children and seeing the positive things coming from growing kids. But also, I found, as funny as it is, that when I left teaching, my students were the ones cheering me out the door. They were like, go find your happiness, do what you want to do. Paula, thank you so much for the stars. Laura, thank you for the stars. They were the ones cheering me because they were inspired too. I mean, I don't, I don't know. If I had a teacher that I knew hated their job and didn't want to be there, which again, not many teachers let off that aura, but if I knew, let's say I found out that my teachers didn't like their job, I would I would want them to be happy. I would want them to go somewhere else and do something that they love. I don't know. Yeah, it's just there's a lot of guilt in teaching, a lot of shaming in teaching. Not only when you are a teacher, but also exiting being a teacher. People literally look at you like when I exited being a teacher. You guys didn't see some of the comments and messages I got. Oh, they were disheartening. They were just a lot of and it was all teachers that were pushing, shaming others. And I don't know if it was. Becky, thank you so much. I don't know. There might have been some jealousy there, but honestly, I don't know. I think that there are some people in this world, and it's not a lot of you that are watching because I love my fans. I think that you guys are right up my alley of getting the humor and getting where we're at in a teaching community. But there's a lot of teachers out there that sometimes have to drag people into their bitterness. That they have to. You can tell a positive story, and they have to follow it with a negative. They have to keep you down. And that's life anyways, especially in comedy. In comedy, we're all vying for the same stage time. So, 9 times out of 10, you can be the funniest guy in the world and everybody's saying how much you stink. It's like Dane Cook. Dane Cook was a great comedian. Can't tell me otherwise. Love him to death. But the comedy community was like, ew, he went on MySpace and got popular. He's terrible. And he wasn't terrible. He was great, but people talk down to you and try to pull you into their web of negativity. And I don't know. I thank you so much, Michelle. I appreciate it. Some teachers, yeah. And that's another thing too. Wow. Narissa, yeah. Martyrdom is a big thing there. Some teachers love to feel like they are sacrificing for something, for the greater good. And sometimes it is for the greater good. Sometimes it's not for the greater good, and you're just throwing yourself on the flames when when the gods demanded a virgin, and we know you're not, and you're like, oh, look at me, and we're like, yeah, this isn't helping us. By the way, sometimes my analogies go a little off center. Sorry about that. Kim, thank you so much for the stars. Yeah, you should do what you love to do. Do what you love to do. Find your passion. And that's the thing. I went after comedy. And if you all knew how hard I work for comedy to get to this point where I can do it full time for myself and travel and it's so much work. So much work. It didn't come easy, but it was a passion of mine. I wanted to do it. And I strongly suggest you go after your passion. I know that. So I have a book coming out. And I know the illustrator of that book wants to do it full time, illustrating full time. And hopefully, this book can help him. But there's a lot of teachers out there that have ideas in the back of their mind, and their ideas never come to fruition because they're spending all their time on something they don't love. Why? And some of you go, well, money or healthcare or whatever. I have healthcare now, but I had to pay a lot for it, and I had to work, different jobs. And when people sometimes think that thank you, Randy, I appreciate that. So sometimes when people think that I just do this full time and I go live and it pays all the bills. No, I do a lot of other stuff too. And I've put out an album in the past. I've put out an Amazon special. I have streaming revenue coming from things that I put effort into 4 or 5 years ago. And it's hard. It's hard to build that up because at first, I'll show you my checks sometime. My streaming revenue from Amazon after my first special was about $3.80. After for the first month, I made like $3.80. I actually have a status on my Facebook on my history sometimes that I see, and it's like, hey, I just saw that everybody watched my special and I made $3.80. So if you all could stream it another 17,000 times, maybe I can pay my phone bill. It's ridiculous, but all right. Let's. Thanks for the laughs. Thanks, Noah. Appreciate it, dude. As a bus driver, I applaud you. What a job. I was actually watching a bus driver the other day. How do you drive a bus? How do we license these people who do not have, CDLs or whatever? They just have regular standard licenses. I think I may be wrong. Noah, correct me if I'm wrong, but a bus is like the hardest thing in the world to drive because a semi, the front is like not connected, so you can turn and then it follows. You're literally driving a 2x4 down the street and trying to navigate it, and it's straight as an arrow. There's no, I look at bus drivers sometimes. I'm like, how do you navigate these streets? And it's always residential streets, the hardest streets in the world. The truck drivers would never ever drive down, and they're driving down it, and they, the bus drivers don't make a lot of money. I think you do need a CDL for the bus driver. Okay, I hope they pay for that because I know our bus drivers don't make a lot of money. No, I did quit teaching. Somebody asked me. I did quit in January, so somebody asked me that. Thank you. Jedediah. Jedediah. There it is. Love your content. Think you're really voice teachers, really good voice teachers. Nobody else is. Good. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I hope my channel blows up. I've got 50,000 subscribers. That blows my mind. 50,000. That's it's like half of a Cowboy Stadium. But I mean, it's crazy. If we could all hop on a plane and join each other, maybe I can be the first comic ever to sell out Cowboy Stadium. That'd be great. If we all, every single subscriber on every single social media that I have wants to fly for this one particular show, it might happen. But it would be still epic. Okay, they do need with a passenger endorsement. That's crazy. Jessica, I don't know. Yeah, bus driving still so much hard work. And that's the thing I also don't understand. If you get a CDL as a bus driver, I guess maybe the hours are really good and that's why you stay a bus driver. But I would also think, why not just truck drive? Because truck drivers make a lot more. I've got family that's been truck drivers. They get paid quite well. So Jeremy, thank you so much for the stars. Appreciate it. Thank you, Kathleen, for that comment. Yeah, I don't know. And plus, let me tell you this. When I first started doing this comedy, I did not think that teacher videos would be like getting a huge following, but it's cool. I love it. And I'm so thankful that you guys are awesome. Fred Skull, who is cousin of Red Skull, said, professionally, have you worked with teachers who are clearly mean in their high school days and bring that mentality to their teaching? Yeah. Absolutely. And they don't usually last that long. Usually mean teachers are quickly dealt with by the students. Not even the teachers, I find the students weed out the mean ones. They find ways to like sabotage them, and they'll mean girl them right back. For every mean teacher, I find that we all of a sudden see a resignation a week later and find out they had some stuff posted on Twitter 6 years ago that was racy and that somehow surfaced. And then that student's sitting in the back of the classroom like, that'll teach her to talk back to me, because I can navigate social media way better than they can. Thank you for the stars, Vandy, Jeremy. Appreciate it. Amy. How about art teachers? Any good stories? I don't know. So thank you, Cynthia. I appreciate that. Greetings from America, and cool you're watching over in Holland. So Amy, can I tell you guys something? Some of you know this stuff. I was a goth in middle school, like straight up gothic, dog collar, Marilyn Manson shirts. I had Jinko jeans and 500 chains, and it would take me 7 hours to go through a metal detector if we had them at school. That was me. And my art teacher must have hated me because every time we did art, my art was goth art or like stupid art. Like I was the guy that was literally the student that was making like she's like, let's make a pot, and I'd make it a mushroom pot. And she's like, that's a mushroom. Is that psychedelic mushrooms? I'm like, no, it's just a mushroom. She probably thought I was the biggest drug addict ever. I never did any drugs. And but I'd make like a mushroom pot. And the next day she'd be like, okay, now we're going to use our clay to make figures. And I'd make a mushroom figure. And she'd be like, you can't keep making mushrooms. I'm like, mushrooms are cool. And then I remember we made t-shirts. We had to design our own t-shirt. and I made a Bush t-shirt, and it was just a giant pig, and it said Bush underneath of it, which Bush was the band Gavin Rossdale was the head of. And by the way, I named my children after 90s rock stars. So let's just get it out of the way. I'm big into that kind of stuff, alternative rock and everything. And I make like Alice in Chains and Korn and everything else. So like literally you would walk into the art class and you'd see like butterfly, Santa, and then it'd be like, the child from The Ring with like a K X'd in her forehead. And everybody, what is that? That is satanic. And I'd be like, no, it's art. You don't understand. And then I would like my hair and put on my black lipstick and be like, I'm out of here. And then I'd flutter away in a poof of black smoke, because that's how you exited the class when you were goth. It's I've got pics, Cindy, and I'll post them sometime too. So we're here to discuss the Fitbit band. Thank you, Jen. You guys are so funny. Jinkos. Yeah, I did have Jinko jeans. By the way, never got the mammoths. Always begged my mom for the mammoths or the kangaroos. She didn't do it. It was moderate Jinkos. They were the big ones, but not out of hand. But then again, I was 6'6" when I was 12. True story. So I think Jinko jeans in the mammoth, I think it would have taken 4 villages to sew jeans big enough for me to wear to get all that fabric. I don't know. It's crazy. What are your thoughts on in-school suspension? I don't know. In-school suspension's a little weird because I kind of like the quietness of it all. I kind of like, I was never in school suspended. I was out of school suspended. I got 10 days suspension for getting into a fight in high school. But never in school suspended. I don't know that I've seen in school suspension, and I want in school suspension as a teacher. I'm like, so they just sit in here and, everybody's quiet. And I'm like, this is where I want to be. How do I get suspended? And it's crazy. And it's funny because I was goth, and my mom hated that I was goth, by the way. So my picture in the yearbook, the year I was goth. Wait, hold on. So by the way, if anybody has a yearbook from Central Middle School in 96 or 97, in Melbourne, Florida, Central Middle School, that'll have my goth picture in it. I don't have one, but I imagine it's there. The next year, though, I was still goth, but my mom hated that I was goth, and I had to have nice pictures for my grandparents. So she actually bought me this shirt, and I still remember it because it was Deborah Things with the Stars. It was a shirt that my mom wanted me to play basketball because I was 6'6". And it just said www.dunk.com. And so I'm wearing that shirt, but like I have a 3-headed skull necklace around. Like I'm the athlete that's not only going to dunk on you, I'm going to sacrifice your body to the goat gods. I mean, I was like, what is this? There was definitely a contrast there. Didn't really go too well. Oh, wow. Thank you, Forrest. I appreciate that. It's huge. Thank you for the stars. I appreciate that. Forrest Newcomer. That's a fake teacher name if I ever saw it. I'm just kidding. I went to Central Middle School. I went to O'Galley High School for 1 year too. I went there for 1 year. I went to Central Middle School, West Shore, junior, senior, O'Galley, and finished out at Brevard Christian. So, let me just put more personal information out there online since my identity was completely stolen about 2 months ago. Let me just continue to have it robbed. So, I don't know. Somebody claimed my kids on their taxes. I got to figure that out. And my stimulus check doesn't have anything online. Apparently, I don't even exist anymore. That's fantastic. So I've got 2 stimulus checks coming in that I don't know where they're at. I've got taxes that I can't even file because my children are claimed by somebody else that just took my children's social security number and put it on theirs. It's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. So thank you. And YouTube, you guys asking about the stars. You guys just do super chats, and the stars are over on Facebook. But yeah, somebody stole my kids' identities. I don't know who. Don't know why. It's just what happened. So, bleh. By the way, if you're just now tuning in, tomorrow we're going to be doing a live broadcast of Crying in My Car right here on Facebook and YouTube. It'll be live streamed, so you can check that out tomorrow. And also, if you want a teacher Zoom show, for example, a teacher happy hour, I've been knocking these out of the park. We have a blast. Teachers cry laughing the entire time. Great stress relief. It's teacherzoomshow@gmail.com for information. And you're like, well, it's going to cost me like $900. No, it's like $200. That's affordable. And it's great for unions. Unions have done it. I've had a lot of unions that have done it, a lot of teacher organizations. Some teachers just pool their money together and they're like, hey, social studies, let's do it. Let's knock it out of the park and have fun. Some have fundraisers. Fundraisers are great. They charge for tickets to watch the Zoom show and make money. Hey, chorus teachers out there that can't do the candy sales this year, maybe try to get a teacher Zoom show together. It's clean humor. I don't cuss, nothing crazy. I can, if you want. I can do we can have a teacher Zoom show for the ages if you want, but most of them have just been kind of relaxed. They're real cool. So you can go. Sure. Absolutely. And by the way, hopefully you guys join my shows coming up Tempe, Arizona this weekend. And don't forget also April 2nd is our next teacher Zoom show online, open to the public. It is going to be fantastic. I have a cavalcade of New York comedians, and they are going to bring the house down. I've seen 2 of them perform, haven't seen the other. Super funny guys, and they are going to put on a heck of a show. I host it, and I do comedy there, and go up in between, each comic, keep the entertainment going, and then we do Q&A at the end. Do I have any upcoming collaborations with Joe D? Good question, Cindy. We always work on stuff behind the scenes, videos, podcasts, things like that. I'll probably be on his podcast soon. He'll be on mine. And then we have shows coming up. He's starting to book some new stuff, and I'm going to join him for a few of those dates. So I know Tampa we're going to be doing together, but I'm looking at some Texas dates with Joe. So if you are in the Texas area, we had Houston lined up last year and had to cancel, and I'm pretty positive that's going to come back. So thank you, John. I appreciate it. Yeah, I did a show with John and his staff the other day, and it was amazing. I mean, I had such a good time. John was such a great guy, and wonderful laughter. Sometimes I really hope I get to see John in person at a show, because he's the kind of guy that I need in the audience to really provide the laughter. He was laughing his butt off, and those are the best audience members that you can imagine. So yeah, but thank you, obviously so much for booking it, and I'm glad you had a wonderful time. I did shows for the math organizations with Zach and the Mighty Peace Teacher Convention. It's a lot of fun. It's all Zoom. Maurice, thank you. It'll be awesome to see you there. You are a regular staple. I thank you so much for your support. Am I coming to Orlando? So I did a show recently in Orlando, and I had a good time. I'll be in the Villages on Tuesday and Wednesday. If you're near the Villages, the old people, I'll be up there performing at the new Bonkers location in the Villages. So if you're in that area, woo, that'll be fun. Let's see. Shows planned for South Florida. Yes, Elizabeth. Miami. It's on the scrolling thing. Miami. I'm going to be at the Wise Guys comedy show at Yumbrella in Miami in April. And then I'm also probably going to do Key West again. Loved Key West, but it was great. So awesome. Thanks, Tammy. I'm excited to see you. Tammy mentioned that you follow me on Facebook, and I got a little gift for you. If you're coming to the Tempe show and you mention, you're like, hey, I follow you on Facebook, little something coming your way. Free. Just come by the merch table and say hello, and you get a little something, and you'll get it before it even goes on sale too. So you get free stuff, and before anybody else can even get it. Yeah, a lot of retired teachers in the Villages. There are a lot of retired everybody in the Villages, actually. But these retired teachers in the Villages, you go to them and you're like, you taught, and they're like, oh yeah. It's like, what'd you teach? They're like, oh, the Great Depression. Oh, you taught history? No, I taught during the Great Depression. Oh, okay. All right. Interesting. That's the way it goes. So Shannon asked if I'm no longer teaching, just doing comedy full time. So thank you all for your support. That's why, I come on here and we do some of these shows and things like that. It helps support. So my prize is mushroom artwork. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Amanda. I'm going to have ceramic mushrooms that I'm going to be handing out at the show. That was brilliant. That was funny. But I have ceramic mushrooms, tie-dye mushrooms, dog collars. We're gonna goth it up in Tempe, Arizona. Oh man, it's It's crazy. So anyways, I want to thank you guys all for joining. And tomorrow night, like I said, brand new Crying in My Car is going to be broadcast here, and you can interact with it. We'll have it live, and you can watch it as it's being recorded for the podcast. And maybe I'll throw some mushroom art into the into the merch. Devin Comedy for merch if you want. It's going to be updated, by the way, tomorrow. You'll have brand new merch available tomorrow to buy if you want some good stuff. So hello from West Virginia. The Friends Don't Let Friends Reply All stickers, they're coming. But also a little something extra. You'll see it tomorrow. It's going to be amazing. I'll put it on during the live broadcast of Crying in My Car. You'll be able to watch it, see what it's out. But it's really cool, and it's my design. That's, by the way, that's something that I didn't design it myself. I came up with the idea. I had somebody with much more talent than me do that, but it looks good. So anyways, thank you all for tuning in tonight. And I appreciate all the shares. New videos coming out this week. One is a Disney one. The other is either going to be a fashion one, or it's going to be the first faculty meeting back after the pandemic. So I have written those two. I got to see which one I can film, because one requires a little bit of extra. The fashion one requires a lot of work. If I can knock it out before I fly to Tempe, you'll get it. But definitely you're getting the Disney one probably on Tuesday. So thanks, guys. I appreciate all the support, and you guys have a great night. And thanks again for all the stars, all the super chats on YouTube. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thanks for all the subscriptions, and I will see you guys tomorrow night for the Crying in My Car live broadcast. Thanks, guys and gals.